When I pause and think about it, there probably aren't that many people who have 3 years of unbroken sobriety from both drink and drugs by their mid-20s, especially in England. However, I am one of them. I haven't been to a bar, pub, or club since early 2019, nor have I frequented any adult entertainment websites, but I'm not crazily religious or the product of strict parenting. In fact, I'm rather the opposite. I grew up in a very permissive family environment with no significant barriers or consequences for substance exploration. The first time that I threw up from alcohol, for example, was under the supervision of my already drunk father while sipping 60% absinthe shots at one of those soulless Spanish holiday resorts for tasteless holidaymakers. So why sobriety? Why the self-imposed restrictions, and most importantly of all, why do I find my limitations so liberating? 3 words: unresolved, personal, trauma. Behind every addiction is unresolved personal trauma. These are the unmet needs and unwanted experiences that have gradually corroded our sense of safety in our bodies and our trust in the world around us. Specific addictions like drink, drugs, video games, social media, or pornography can all be devastating in their own respect, but I want you to know that they are fundamentally symptomatic expressions of a deeper energetic disturbance, not the primary disturbance itself. In this way, you can consider them almost like a helpful but confronting signpost towards the internalized wounding which is yet to be healed. And that's a way of being thankful for them. In terms of my own story, I grew up in a family environment where I never really felt safe. I had an angry father, to say the least, and by the time I was 10, I was having my first suicidal thoughts and feelings, and this continued at varying intensities for the next decade, slightly over a decade actually. Fortunately, by the time I was a teenager, I was self-medicating and self-remedying with video game and pornography addiction, which gave me something like an artificial flow state escapism to distract me from my feelings of worthlessness and powerlessness and imprisonment with a false sense of overstimulated fogginess. Fortunately for me, the video game habit dropped off naturally when I went away to study at university, but pornography really stuck. Drink and drugs I got better at moderating, but that habit was really difficult. It took many years of streaking and relapsing and internal unquiet before I figured out that it wasn't sexual stimulation that I was after. It was safety. Porn usage was my attempt at trying to self-comfort and self-soothe and provide a sense of pseudo-powerfulness and control and safety in my body that I didn't have during my childhood. When it comes to sobriety, I don't think it's about the substance restriction itself. Substance restriction is important, but quitting drink, drugs, and pornography was merely the stabilising force in my life. It created a stable and dependable and reliable enough foundation for honest introspection, sustained self-work, and ultimately the inner work which could actually soothe that deeper energetic disturbance and that nervous system fatigue and overstimulation which had haunted me for decades. I want you to imagine sobriety as simultaneously the gateway and the city walls which allow us to enter into our internalized traumatic environment and also hold us steady as we explore that territory piece by piece. Sobriety isn't easy, and I haven't got it perfect. Although drink and drugs are no longer a problem in my life, they don't come up as cravings, I still find myself swerving towards misaligned, delusional fantasies of pseudo-power when relating to women, and the occasionally expansive fingers on Instagram in moments where I'm feeling stressed or just disengaged from life. I also do wonder, at this stage, what would happen if I did relax my restrictions? I find limitation so liberating, but how quickly would that downward spiral unravel again, even after 3 years? Drink and drugs, I don't think so, but again, everyone has their different addictive, escapist tendencies to try and create safety. I can also see how sobriety has made me more rigid in some ways, and especially when in certain social environments where I'm talking to people, and if I was actually honest about what I think about certain habits and substances, it can be quite confronting, especially if someone's shame-based or insecure about their own habits. It's definitely not a smooth, cut and dry, positive and negative experience. But if I were to give you one message to leave on, one fundamental truth from sobriety that I've learned, it's that sobriety is not the solution, it is merely the beginning as the stabilizer. Sobriety is the stabilizing force which allows the possibility of honest and authentic introspection, where we're expressing self-compassion and self-respect towards ourselves in daily action, and have the mental space and the energetic stability for that deeper inner work on a patient and persistent basis over the course of multiple years to try and recreate that safety that we never had. So if you're considering sobriety, go for it. If not, then why not consider it?